Hi guys, my name is Shania Kendrick and my case is Gideon versus Wainwright, 1963, The Right to a Lawyer, and Justice Hugo Black. Imagine being put on trial for a serious crime with no lawyer to defend you. That's exactly what happened to Clarence Earl Gideon. In his case, Gideon versus Wainwright changed American law forever. Today, we're diving into this landmark Supreme Court case, exploring its connections to the Sixth Amendment and the ethical stakes, and the powerful influence of Justice Hugo Black. In 1961, Clarence Gideon was arrested in Florida for allegedly breaking into a pool hall. He couldn't afford a lawyer and asked the court to appoint one. But at the time, Florida law only provided attorneys in capital cases. Gideon had to represent himself and was convicted. From his prison cell, he hand-wrote a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court. The court agreed to hear his case, and then in 1963, they unanimously ruled in Gideon versus Wainwright that states must provide legal counsel to defendants who can't afford one. This decision redefined the meaning of justice in America. The heart of the case is the Sixth Amendment, which guarantees the right to the assistance of counsel for his defense. Before Gideon, this right only applied to federal courts. The Supreme Court's decision extended this protection to state courts through the 14th Amendment Due Process Clause. The court interpreted the Sixth Amendment as a fundamental right, essential for a fair trial, marking a powerful shift in how constitutional rights were applied nationwide. Ethical and moral dilemmas. Gideon versus Wainwright raises a profound ethical question. Can a trial be fair if a person doesn't have a lawyer? The moral dilemma was clear. Without legal representation, poor defendants were at a major disadvantage. The case exposed how wealth and class could determine justice, challenging the nation to live up to the ideal that they are all equal before the law. This is Justice Hugo Black's role. Justice Hugo Black, who wrote the majority opinion, was a longtime advocate for individual rights. Born in Alabama, Black believed deeply in the Constitution's guarantees. He famously said the Sixth Amendment's right to counsel was fundamental and essential to a fair trial. His judicial philosophy emphasized strict adherence to the Bill of Rights, and Gideon's Black influence was critical. He helped the courts recognize that fairness in a courtroom should not depend on how much money you have. In my opinion, the Supreme Court absolutely made the right call in the Gideon versus Wainwright. Without legal counsel, the scales of justice are unbalanced. This ruling wasn't just about Clarence Gideon, it was about every person's right to a fair trial. It also reminds us of human cost when the system fails. This case shows how constitutional amendments aren't just old words on a paper. They're living protections that shape real lives. Gideon versus Wainwright didn't just help one man. It reshaped the American justice system. After this decision, every state was required to provide public defenders to those who couldn't afford any attorney. It laid the foundation for the modern public defense system and reinforced the principles that justice should be blind to wealth. Today, the case is still cited in courts and classrooms, but challenges remain. Public defenders are often overworked and underfunded. So while Gideon was a major step forward, it also reminds us that rights on paper must be backed by resources and practices. It's a legacy of fairness and a call to keep improving the system. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you found this breakdown of Gideon versus Wainwright insightful, let me know in the comments. Should everyone, no matter their income, have the right to a lawyer? Let me know.